to my channel. So MilagroGramz got on Station Head and she seems to be very upset. So as you know, the Diddy trial has now ended, but it's still not all the way through done because Diddy has not been sentenced yet. But he has basically won his lawsuit by getting only 2 out of the 5 charges for RICO and racketeering. So MilagroGramz gets into a Variety magazine article in regards to Armon, Wiggins, and other people at the Diddy trial who was out there spraying baby oil. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Spreading baby oil on themselves and recording it. And there's a lot of things in the article that MilagroGramz reads into. Not all the way through, but just the beginning of the article. And it's very sickening. Again, Armon Wiggins as a YouTuber, I respect because he is a very hard worker and he loves his craft, but at the same time, it did look a plumb fool, and he did come out and apologize, but a lot of people didn't take that seriously because of the fact that you knew what you were doing, and you said it was for the fans. So, let MilagroGramz get into this article, and with that being said, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace.
And I see people saying that their comments are being deleted. I didn't delete a motherfucking thing. And I'm here to tell you that right now. I'm here to tell you that if you are leaving comments in Station Head that don't have nothing to do with coming, you know the type of shit I block. You know what I ain't going for. So everything else, I don't know why it's getting deleted, and I'm not deleting it. I thought that I was the one that was able to delete messages, or you could delete your own messages. Isn't that how it's supposed to work? So why is this happening? Okay. That's not even why I'm here right now. Please gather around. Gather around. Because we about to have us a talk. And it's not gonna last long, but it's important. hmm And let me tell you why I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say something because if it was me, you hoes will be having a field day. So what I want to say is Armand is a fucking idiot. Armand Wiggins is a fucking idiot. And what I'm about to get into is what happens when you let idiots who are self-absorbed, who think that they're moving the needle, get in front of things and spearhead it. You have to be an actual leader to be in that position. And I'm going to explain to you in this moment why he's the opposite of that. And I'm going to explain to you why I got so much in my voice, in my chest. The reason why I got so much in my chest is because I know who I am in comparison to these other niggas. You know who I am in comparison to these other niggas, and you know how that makes you feel. And I know how that makes me feel. The reality of that statement. Okay. When anyone else looks at us, they don't separate us. And that's the core reason why I'm upset. That is at the nucleus of my anger. No one else is going to separate YouTubers. It doesn't matter how big or how small. When you come from that side of the planet, that's it. So, regardless of what I know, regardless of what you know, they're going to put everybody in one fucking box. Do I necessarily fancy myself as a YouTuber? Honestly, not really. I have done like things that extend beyond YouTube. YouTube is not my primary spot. Like I don't consider myself a YouTuber. Okay? But for all intents and purposes, sure. Call me a YouTuber. All right? Okay, fine, whatever. So with that being said, I got up this morning, and do y'all know or remember that I did not like the scene that took place outside of the federal courthouse building? You remember that? And that was after the bullshit that happened, like with the case itself and the way it was covered. Well, 5 minutes ago, I'm getting notes so that we could do a fucking show. And what do I see? I see a fresh fucking article from Variety, published today at 8 o'clock a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Do you know what the fucking headline says? Inside the Diddy trial circus, how screaming fans, baby oil, and street preachers turn the courthouse into a madhouse. This fucking boy, with the help of these other people, has turned this into a literal shit show that will go down in history, that will have people. You have helped these people to discredit us in these spaces. That's why I'm fucking mad. Because people like him that really don't give a fuck about the criminal justice system had no business being down there in the first place. Now it's being cemented that people like us don't have a fucking right to be there. We don't need to be there. And this is the type of chaos that we cause. We don't help a motherfucking thing and are ignorant on top of it all and have no concern for fucking victims. Cause that's what the fuck that looked like. That stunt outside the courthouse. And that's why when I was fussing when it happened, I said if he thought more about everybody else, he wouldn't have did that shit. His reason for doing what he did was because his fans. Nigga, fuck the fans. You not getting respect. Do you understand that? And then you add into them feeling empowered to invalidate the rest of us. Do you get that part? Child police. Let me read you this introduction to this fucking article. A man is squirting baby oil on a woman's breast as she jumps up and down in a bikini, twirling under the eyes of Crane and selfie sticks. Who was over there? Armon, right? A crowd hollers with glee as weed and cigar smoke form stinky clouds. This is fucking variety, nigga. The introduction of the article after the circus headline is literally the scene with Armand and that woman in that blue wig. They said stinky clouds, bitch. They said weed and cigar smoke. They said that y'all was down there smelling like bunk and fucking Hennessy, pouring fucking baby oil all over every motherfucking well. And they said y'all stunk, nigga. That's what they said about y'all. They said y'all was some funky ass niggas. You want me to read it again? A man is squirting baby oil on a woman's breast as she jumps around in a bikini top, twirling under the eyes of Crane and selfie sticks. A crowd hollers with glee as weed and cigar smoke form stinky clouds. No, this is not a freak off, one of Sean Diddy Combs' sex parties. This is the scene outside the federal courthouse in Manhattan, hours after the jury delivered a mixed verdict in the Diddy trial, convicting him of transportation to engage in prostitution, but acquitting him on the more serious charges of sex trafficking and racketeering. Let's get into a quote. If it don't slip, you must acquit, yells baby oil man into his iPhone. I am reading this verbatim, bitch. I am reading this verbatim. Bitch, I'm about to be so mad. Bitch, I'm about to be so fucking mad, dog. This is a mess. I'm about to crash out. Let me read it again. If it don't slip, you must acquit, yells baby oil man into his iPhone, which is propped up on a tripod. He's holding 3 bottles of the stuff, now a symbol of the disgraced hip hop mogul in his court case. And he's waving his arms around like a cartoon animal flailing on ice. Hordes of TikTokers and looky-loos surround the courthouse. Nigga, they done called you a looky-loo. Hordes of TikTokers and looky-loos surround the courthouse alongside Combs supporters, wearing t-shirts that proclaim a Frico is not a Rico, in reference to the Racketeering Act. Street preachers and free puff caps are yelling about the prophet Elijah. People are climbing police barricades and chanting, "Freedom!" Combs still could go to prison for more than a decade, but for his supporters, the verdict is cause for celebration. For the reporters who have covered the trial since the beginning, this scene is just one more example of the crazy characters, conflicts, and chaos that have consumed the New York courthouse. The Diddy trial was the most talked about legal scandal since the O.J. Simpson trial. How dare they took my quote? They didn't steal my quote. Ah, the damage that's been done against me is sick. They didn't took my Emmy winning quote. Oh, hell no. Oh, oh my God. Oh, I'm having a hard time breathing. Oh my God. Let me read this again. Let me read this again because I know I ain't seeing what I'm seeing. Who? The Diddy trial was the most talked about trial. Wait, let me go back. Let me go back. The Diddy trial was the most talked about legal scandal since O.J. Simpson. But just as much of a spectacle was the circus unfolding beyond the witness stand. It was a full-time job covering Combs. And they said the grueling 8-week trial featured 34 witnesses accusing the Bad Boy Records founder of crimes ranging from rape to domestic violence. Snagging a spot in the main courtroom where Combs sat beside his squad of attorneys and in front of his sons and mother often required arriving at the courthouse before 6 a.m. and queuing up behind the professional line sitters hired by TMZ, CNN, and other news networks. They said one guy with a shaggy beard and a beach chair, an amateur line sitter, if there's such a thing, would camp overnight to try to get his spot for $300 every morning. They said when no one bit, he would cut his losses and head in to watch the trial himself. After a few days inside, he became so engrossed that he stopped putting himself on the market. Once inside the courthouse, my line mates and I funneled through an airport level security procedure run by a group of marshals. And then they said by week 2, I was a pro and I knew exactly what to do. They said I was hazed by this bald, grinning, middle-aged man. Get the fuck out of here. Come on, hurry up. But they said after security, we hurried over to a kiosk where an officer stashed all of our electronic devices. One time I dropped my AirPods and it ricocheted across the floor. And then when I went to pick it up, the guard handed it to me and he looked at me dead in my face and said, "See you at lunch, Butterfingers." On an eventful day, okay, now they going into their own fucking thing. And then they talking about what they saw. So you guys, basically, this is an article that highlights all of the chaos and the dysfunction. And there's no planet where I would want to be a part of this in my life. In my life. And for them to take my fucking quote is sick, bitch. It's sick. Do you know how much fucking flack I got for that shit? Do you remember that's the media plays in your face and you got to know when they play in your face. All I know is when I saw that this article had been written, I was so upset because there are real people working really hard to try to validate themselves in these spaces and to do their best, and they gonna get lumped in with the people clowning, and that's what I'm upset about. If you feel like I'm, bitch, you just want a reason to talk on my bitch. I don't need a reason to talk on a nigga that don't ever be on my fucking lineup, bitch. Number one. Number two, it is what it is, and I'ma speak on it. Period. At the end of the day, nigga done went down there acting a motherfucking fool, and not everybody look like a fucking fool. That's what happened, and that's what the fuck it is. They say sometimes you're not wrong, you just early. Child. Anyway, let's continue getting what we need to get so that we could go and do what we need to do. But I literally saw this and was just beside myself. Beside myself. And to know that not only did I not get my Emmy, but that they took my line that I wrote myself and they are now using this is sick. Like, hello? But it's okay. Everything is going to be okay. It's okay. We got Brittany. We already done got into it way this morning. We done been outside all day with this shit. Okay. So anyway, I'm gonna call y'all back. They say, "Are you gonna come back?"
Someone once told me the grass is much greener on the other side.